We're at 4425 Ashland Avenue, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. Going in from the MSD cleanout. There's an outside cleanout put in by the sewer district, so we can go both directions. We're going to go back in towards the house first, and should be able to push it all the way to where it comes down out of the main stack. And then we will pull back, and then we'll go out towards the street and inspect the probably 30 feet between the clean out and the main out in the street. So we'll stop along the way and add any comments we feel are necessary. We're just looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that might be of concern to the buyer in the future. Okay, so the clean out that was put in was recent, so that is a green, it's an SDR, that's a PVC plastic that they use. And then as soon as you get past that, as we go back in towards the house, it turns to clay, which is normal material for this age of house. There is something running, I'm not really sure what it is, but there's a little bit of water running here. Said there was a dishwasher running previously, so that could be it. Okay, so we have a little bit of roots here. It's probably a bush. This is pretty shallow. It's only a couple feet deep right here, so there's a bush right here on the corner of the retaining wall for the garage, or for the driveway in the garage. And so there's a little bit of roots there. It's not grown down into the flow line or anything, but it's something you might want to keep an eye on in the future. There's a little bit more there with some stuff stuck to it. This does look like the water is passing it, but it looks like the joint is separated a little bit. It doesn't look like it could have been this way for 50 years. It doesn't look like a concern. Now there is something here. It looks like it's either, I think it's a pipe coming in. We're going to take note of that at 25 feet, and then as we come back, we'll maybe locate that to see if that is just they call it a break-in, where they had added a connection after the pipe was installed, and sometimes it just looks rough when they put it in, that's all. And just as a note, you do see that water there, but that water, the camera lens here is only about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 an inch off the bottom of the pipe. So that little bit of water, the lines are usually flat inside houses like this. They usually run them pretty flat. The minimum slope is about 1/8 of an inch per foot, and they tend to keep it that way inside the house. So that's not really a lot of water, especially since there is constant flow right now. Again, this just looks like more like mineral deposits, or maybe some grease buildup on the walls. There's a little bit. And see, here is what we were talking about before. That is a break-in, so we think that one at 25 feet could be something like this, where they just added a connection. That looks like black PVC dropped down into the clay. So again, it's about 44 feet, so we'll also check that when we pull back out. Should be getting close to the stack here. There we go. This looks like some buildup. I'm not really sure where this is, but we are going to go check to see if this is the base of the stack or what the deal is here, because there's some buildup. So we're going to pause the video here and get a locate. Okay, so we're going to have them flush the toilet. We're right at the base of the toilet here, which is like right underneath it, where it turns down. It's probably the beginning of the line, and this is where the line turns down. We're going to have them flush and see, because they redid that bathroom, and we're wondering if this maybe is that buildup may have something to do with the grout and stuff that they did in there. So we're going to have them flush, and we'll see what we see. Just heard the flush. Huh, but we're not seeing anything. This could be a downspout, maybe? I don't see anything coming out. There's water coming out here I can see in the clean out, but I don't see anything coming out right here. This is dry. Maybe we're behind it. Maybe this is a downspout right behind. Okay, so we think we might be at the edge of there's a vent stack that runs up behind the wall, and that outside wall where the toilet is downstairs. And since we didn't see any flow, we're going to pull back just a little bit and flush again. We're probably actually back past where the flow begins, which is probably why there's that stuff sitting there. So we'll see in a second. We're going to go back in and flush and see if we can figure out what that spot is. You need to go flush? Okay, so he just flushed, and again, okay, I think I see some water here. We're gonna have to rinse off. Yep. We're gonna flush again and see if I can find out where this is coming from. I think I'm turning possibly turning up in that stack there. Hold on. Maybe that connection right there on the right. Yep, there we go. So that's what it is. So the toilet, that goes over to the vent stack, so there's nothing flowing down that line, which is why there was that buildup. We're gonna go check and see if maybe there's some, that may be the maybe it catches some of the sink upstairs, the kitchen sink, but it looks like the toilet doesn't actually tie in until right about there on the right hand side. So that's why there was that buildup there. There was no flow beyond it. So I think next thing we're going to do is run a little bit of water in the kitchen and just verify to see if that stack has anything coming down in it. So we're going to pause again while we go do that. Okay, we turned the kitchen sink on, which is above this. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of rise in water level, so I'm going to push back and see if it's coming from further back to where we just were. No, I think it comes in after the fact. It probably comes in the same. Yeah, it does not look like the flow originates from behind there, so that stuff that's sitting there is just because there's no flow. I'm going to pull back a little bit and see where that comes in. Huh. There we go. There's a little bit of flow.
He's picking up speed.
But could just be the water that was coming in earlier. Maybe it's coming in the same spot as the toilet was. Because there is water running, but can't exactly tell. A minute here. Okay. I think we just found it. It looks like it's coming in right here on the left. If you can see a little bit of bubble movement here, right there, you can see the flow going past the camera. So there is no water in that on the very back spot where we got behind the toilet there. That was just a vent stack, so that's why that debris was sitting in the pipe. So this all looked good. I believe that was a tie-in for the shower downstairs, maybe, where they tied that in, the new shower pan. And then I think we had one at about 25 feet that we were actually going to go locate to find out if that was a break-in or if there was an issue there. Yeah, that looks like a break-in. Looks like black PVC coming in to the right here. So we are going to go locate this just to verify it. So we're going to pause again. Okay, it looks like that's actually maybe it's a cap where it's right underneath where the downspout is, and it's been rerouted, so it's probably a capped, an old downspout where it's been capped. Because that's a good finished edge, so I believe that's just been capped there. You do have a little bit of an offset there at that joint, a few cracks, but it doesn't look like it's slowing down the flow, or it doesn't look like any of the water is escaping. Looks like the flow is continuous, so I'm not going to worry about that too much, but that could have been there for 60 years. So really the only thing we found on the interior side here was that there's it's a little flat, which is to be expected. But there was constant water running this whole time, and we'll investigate that a little further after we finish the inspection. But there was just a little bit of roots out here by that bush that you want to keep a little bit of an eye on. We'll let the homeowner know, or the home buyer know, that that's something that you probably want to pay attention to, that's all. And now we've gotten back out into the clean out. As you can see, we're vertical. And now we're going to go out towards the street. So then we're back into the old pipe again. So from here on out, because this is good evidence where this this clean out has been put in, that MSD owns from here out to the main. So having this as a good demarcation line of that they don't have to deal with, that this is not on the homeowner. If there was an issue right there where you see the broken, it looks like an offset broken pipe, that you can see it from here. You look down the pipe a little ways, and that's why we go underwater there. There's an offset in the pipe. Now if that ever does become a problem, that will be the responsibility of MSD to fix that. It is on their property. So I mean, I was able to get my camera past it, so that is good, but because of all the water flow, there was some buildup, and you could obviously see that we had to go underwater to get past that point. So a little bit of an edge there as it drops down. That's just a turn down. That's normal, the way they configure these pipes. Now it's going to flatten back out and probably go right into the main. And here we go. So we have reached the sanitary main, and everything on this side is owned by MSD. So we did check it, but again, that spot as we pulled back, that was offset and underwater, that is just something that if there is ever an issue caused by that, they could even, I don't think MSD must know it's there because of this clean out, so I don't think that they felt it was necessary to repair it yet. But in the future, if it does become a greater issue, that will be something that would be the responsibility of the Metropolitan Sewer District to fix. So it's not going to be a concern. It looks like there wasn't a whole lot of solids or anything down in there either, so it must be overtaking that pretty well because of the slope of the pipe from here out. So we are back in the section where the clean out is, and we have exited the pipe. So the only real issue was a little bit of roots underneath the bush. Other than that, everything looked good, especially for the age of the pipe. So we're going to end the inspection there for 4425 Ashland Avenue.